YNW Melly's latest court hearing just revealed a potential new release date, and it came with serious drama. For the first time, Melly publicly went against his own legal team in open court. According to reports, Melly was seen yelling at his lawyers, demanding to be released early despite their advice not to push for it.
Yes, sir.
Against our advice, our client wants to proceed.
You objected to their request we need to determine this automatic stay.
Based upon what our client has instructed us, yes.
The main argument in court was about Melly's alleged gang ties, but Melly wasn't having it. In the middle of the hearing, he was overheard yelling at his lawyers, clearly frustrated. Multiple people in the courtroom quoted Melly saying, "I don't care, I'm not in no gang, they can't prove that." His outburst showed just how tense the situation had become and how desperate he is to be released.
I'm aware of 924-071. Call for an automatic stay while
they were aggravators. They go to membership in a gang. There are things that the jury would have to find before going into penalty.
Not aggravator, that's the death penalty. Aggravator, that's the gang enhancement itself, Your Honor. That's charged. He was charged in committing the murder for the furtherance of the gang, which is an aggravator in terms of the guilt.
something that they would have to find by way of an interrogatory.
Yes.
The reason Melly doesn't care whether the evidence is included or not is because if his lawyers get that evidence thrown out, it will delay the trial even more. The paperwork tied to that motion could push the trial back to 2027. That means Melly could end up sitting in jail for 7 to 9 years before ever being convicted of the crime.
I do find this case to be under the most compelling circumstances. Mr. Devins, as I sit here today, has been in custody for 2,339 days. Besides Mr. Devins' cases, which I've removed, this division currently has 38 other cases, special set for trial. 22 of those are murder cases. Numerous of those are death cases. And right now, this division has trial special set through December of 2026.
However, the state wants to delay the trial again so they can make sure all the evidence they plan to use against Melly is allowed in court. Their goal is to lock in a life sentence for him in the second trial.
And finally, Judge, just so, again, the record's clear, given Judge Murphy's order, and there would be an intent to comply with it, what the court is compelling the state to do is to go forward with evidence that has been suppressed. In other words, we would not be able to use that evidence. Right.
As of now, the attorneys could go to the appellant court and request that they issue a stay or place a hold on the trial, and that seems to be the only way that this trial does not move forward on the scheduled date. So if that doesn't happen, Melly trial number 2 will begin in about 2 months.
This caught the attention of YNW Melly's mother, who then went on Instagram Live to share the final decision about when the trial will begin.
Basically what happened today is the judge has said we are not delaying trial. We will be going to trial September 10th. Even though there's things that's up with the 4th DCA that has been ruled to be suppressed and not able to be used in the upcoming trial, the judge is just upholding those orders. So therefore, all of basically what was up on appeal was all of that stuff, what they were using as an enhancer in order to get the death penalty qualified. The judge ordered all of that to be suppressed. So moving forward onto the new trial, the state will not be able to bring in that evidence.
At the end of the hearing, YNW Melly's lawyers requested that he be released on bond until his trial in September. Unfortunately, the request was denied. According to reports, Melly's reaction to being denied bond in his double murder case was emotional, especially since he's been in jail for 2,320 days without a conviction. The denial came down to one major reason: the prosecutor's insurance plan. Let me explain. Prosecutors created a detailed evidence file specifically to keep Melly behind bars until the trial. They presented the judge with the most damaging evidence, including updated footage that reportedly shows Melly admitting to the murders of Sackhazer and Juvie just 5 hours after the killings. Melly was allegedly caught on camera dancing in a parking lot with YNW Bortland, showing no sign of remorse.
Melly still turned regardless of what happened this early morning. He's still out here being very positive. Turned still. Hey! The dog still turned, regardless of what happened. You already know.
Showing not even a trace of sadness over the deaths of their two close friends, Melly was later caught on camera again, this time just 30 minutes before the crime happened. He was seen leaving the studio and getting into the Jeep, sitting in the back left seat waiting for Sackhazer Juvie and Bortland to join him.
Excuse me, you able to see? Yes, all right.
This is a key piece of evidence because according to official court documents, the direction of the bullets traveling from left to right in the car supports the claim that they came from the back left seat where YNW Melly was sitting. Prosecutors even brought Juvie's mother to the stand to confirm he was sitting in that exact spot.
Can you state your name, your full legal name for the jury?
Leon Phillips.
Okay. And are you related to one of the kids in this case?
Yes, I am.
How so?
I'm his mother.
And who is that?
Christopher Thomas.
Ms. Phillips, did you see who entered into the occupants who entered into that gray Jeep?
Yes.
Do you recognize where your son entered that gray Jeep?
Yes.
Which seat, if you can identify for the jury?
He got in the back seat on the right hand side.
Did you recognize the individual that got into the back seat on the left side, the rear driver's side?
Yes.
And who was that individual?
Janelle.
But that wasn't the only evidence brought into court. What happened next was so shocking many people believed the Florida court system might be corrupt. Prosecutors managed to convince Melly's ex-girlfriend Mariah Hamilton and YNW Bortland to make deals with them. Here's how it went down. Mariah had been hiding outside the United States since before Melly's first trial. Prosecutors claim they have evidence that Melly either pressured or paid her to leave the country so she wouldn't be able to testify against him. But after years away, Mariah decided to return to see her family and was arrested as soon as she landed at the airport.
Mariah Hamilton is spending her first day at the Broward County Jail. She has no arrest record until now. U.S. Border Patrol agents arrested her at Miami International Airport Monday after she arrived on an international flight. Court records show Hamilton was ordered to testify in Demon's first trial in 2023.
She was having an extremely rough time inside a jail, which is why when she entered her first court hearing, she immediately made a deal with the judge. The judge told her, if you agree to testify against Melly and tell the truth of what really happened to Sackchaser and Juvie, then you're free to go. She accepted it instantly, making this the worst news possible for YW. Melly, as immediately when she got on the outside, she would write to Facebook and to my village, "Thank you to my village. I love you all so much. God's plan, not mine." This is very important as the feds found disturbing evidence in Mariah's iCloud account relating to Melly forcing her to not testify in the original trial. This is known as witness tampering. The moment she says that this is real, Melly will be sentenced to life in prison.
The state filing 6 new charges against Demons and 2 others who were allegedly involved. The charges include tampering with a witness, directing the activities of a criminal, solicitation or conspiracy to commit tampering, and unlawful use of a two-way communication device. Now, a couple of those charges actually carry a life in prison sentence if there's a conviction.
The scariest part is that the witness tampering charge is completely separate from the 2 murder charges Melly is already facing. That means even if he's found not guilty of killing Sackhazer and Juvie, he could still be sentenced to life in prison just for the witness tampering. But what makes it even worse is that the feds have banned Melly from using the jail phone for several months now. Things got so serious that his mother, Jamie King, went public in an interview calling out the county jail for not letting him make phone calls.
My son has not been convicted of anything, and even other inmates that have been convicted or anything, they have the right to use a telephone. They have a right to just to be allowed to write letters to their loved ones, to receive their mail. They hold his mail, they don't give it to him.
This basically means the feds do have evidence that YNW Melly was using the jail phone to commit witness tampering. They wouldn't ban him from phone access based on a guest doing that. Without proof could lead to a multi-million-dollar lawsuit. But when you add that to what YNW Bortland is expected to do next, things look even worse for Melly. What many people don't know is that Melly's own lawyer already tried tried to blame the entire thing on Bortlen on the very first day of the original trial.
Those were his lies. Cortland Henry shows up at Memorial Hospital, Miramar. You don't see him sitting there, but where you will see him sitting is in the driver's seat of a car with two bodies, a car riddled with bullets. And when he shows up with a change of clothing, change of shirt, powder residue on his hands, evidencing that he had discharged a firearm. And he lies. He lies about where the incident occurred. He lies about how it occurred. And he lies about not having a phone. I think it was Miss Bradley herself who said, everybody has a phone in his pocket, not Cortland Henry.
That was actually Melly's own lawyer telling the feds and the judge that it was YNW Bortlen who had been lying the whole time. He claimed Bortlen had gunpowder residue on his hands and that Bortlen was the last person seen with Juvie and Sackhazer before they died. They even brought in a forensic expert who worked on the case to explain more about the powder residue found on Bortlen.
So the right hand of Cortland Henry contained 0 particles characteristic of residue and two component particles, and the left hand contained 1 particle characteristic of residue and 1 2-component particle.
Okay. And can you explain to us what that means?
Basically, overall, there was residue present on the hands.
What many people don't know is this is why YNW Bortlen has stayed completely silent on social media for over a year. When Melly's mistrial was granted, a report came out that Bortlen tweeted a strange message the same day. Tweet said, "Mind, games don't work on people like me," with a handshake emoji, almost like he was agreeing to some kind of deal. That deal may have been him agreeing to be tried alongside Melly in the upcoming trial. Prosecutors even filed paperwork to have both tried together, meaning they'll be sitting side by side in court, and it's all for one specific reason.
Issue here, and you can try them together. It is to the benefit of the state to try them together. Just more efficient. You don't have to do things again and again. Do it all at once, and also you get a better chance of having them incriminate each other during the trial. It benefits the defense to sever it. That way they can point the finger at each other and get away with it. So this is what's going on. But I don't think it should be automatically severed because the state is seeking a penalty for Melly, because it's only the penalty phase of the trial that would be different, not the guilt phase. The guilt phase is the same. They're both capital crimes. You're seeking the penalty on one, not the other, but that goes into the second part of the trial, the penalty phase, only if Melly is found guilty.
It's just common sense. If YNW Bortlen knows he didn't commit the crime, there's no way he's going to sit there quietly and take a life sentence. That makes it very likely he'll turn on YNW Melly and tell the truth to save himself. But if you believe Melly should be released from jail, like this video and comment below. Is he guilty or not?